Good morning. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. It's April 7th in the year of 2025, and we have a lot going on. If you listen to mainstream media over the weekend, you would have probably gotten an earful about how bad everything is in this country because of the President Donald Trump's tariffs on everyone across the world, and this is going to bankrupt this country. And just look at what happened to the stock market. It's cost $1 trillion to everybody, and it's affecting everybody. This is a lie, and it's not affecting everyone. The blue-collar Americans in this country are very happy about what's going on, because what they failed to tell you is that prices are dropping. Your gasoline prices are dropping. Your egg prices have already dropped, and some foodstuffs are starting to come down as a result of American manufacturing being allowed to distribute without regulatory footprints on their neck trying to feed this country. And this has happened. Also, we're looking at the fact that over 50 countries have contacted over the weekend and want to cut a deal. This is what this man does. And if you cannot realize this, and NBC, CBS, MSNBC, these people, especially Morning Jackass, are feeding you bad information because they want you to fear, just like they did with the Doge situation and the election. They want you to live in fear because fear helps them do what they want to do, which is to prop up the bad efforts of the Democratic aisle to stop the new legislation from going through that will cut these regulations and fix certain things in this country. And yes, Doge, they want you to fear Doge. They put the hands-off people in the streets on Saturday. We'll show you that in a little bit. And then when people went out to question people in the streets that are carrying the signs, like these are professionally printed signs. Where would you go to get one of those? Well, I don't know. They just hand us the signs when we come. That's an organized deal that was put together by somebody and funded by somebody, and I would love to know. In a little bit, we'll talk more about that. But let's take a look here at the stock market fears being proponed out by every mainstream media network, including, in some cases, not everyone at Fox, but some at Fox. So do not panic. Because what they fail to show you here, when they show you the numbers, is the percentage of fall that you're looking at. And the percentages are laying in and around 2%, which is not all that bad. And you have to understand what's happening in the stock market right now, because it was oversold for so long under the Biden administration, that this is a correction. A correction that is a needed correction that will take place, and it will be okay. And do not use the stock market as a barometer, because the blue-collar people in this country are benefiting already. Take a look here.
I always say tariffs is the most beautiful word to me in the dictionary.
April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn.
President Donald Trump announced a sweeping reciprocal tariffs, fulfilling one of his pledges to retaliate against countries he says have treated the U.S. unfairly. Welcome to the Fox 11 News at 5, simulcast on Fox 11 Plus. I'm Christine Devine.
I'm Alex Michelson. Liberation Day is what President Trump is calling his announcement of new tariffs. Critics say he's encouraging inflation, but the president is convinced it will actually bring jobs back to the U.S.
We will impose a 25% tariff on all foreign-made automobiles.
The president says the tariffs will help return manufacturing plants to the U.S. and rebalance the trade deficit. Last year, the U.S. imported $918 billion more in goods than it exported. Economists warn U.S. companies will feel the pain first, followed by consumers.
This is not Liberation Day, it's Recession Day in the United States of America. That's what the Trump tariffs are going to do. crash the economy.
This man is a menace. You know, Donald Trump, this is about the worst decision, or one of the worst decisions Donald Trump has made, and given his presidency, that's saying a whole lot.
I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
How high are prices going to go? How long will they stay there?
I actually saw in this story that you just gave, George, there's kind of like a logical disconnect between the stories, the competing stories that your team is using to attack President Trump. On the one hand, you're saying that the countries are really angry and they're going to have to retaliate. On the other hand, you're saying that consumers are going to bear the costs and it's going to drive inflation up. But if U.S. consumers are bearing the costs, there's no reason for the countries to be angry. So the fact is the countries are angry and retaliating. And, by the way, coming to the table, I got a report from the USTR last night that more than 50 countries have reached out to the president to begin a negotiation. But they're doing that because they understand that they bear a lot of the tariff.
Chad.
My God.
As I said, blue-collar people that have to go out and work every day to pay their taxes so we can have all these social programs and fund ridiculous things across the world and in this country. It's ridiculous, and we know it now because DOJ is looking into things, and it's panicked half of Congress because a lot of them may be in the crosshairs of DOJ, and this is panicking them. So what do? They want you to panic, and they'll use the stock market as they use anything and everything else they can get their hands on to make you afraid that you're going to lose while it's them that is going to lose and lose big time. So don't panic. Everything is going to be okay. It's going to take a little while for the medicine to take effect, but it will, and I have utmost faith in the negotiator we have sitting in the White House right now, Donald J. Trump. He's an expert at this. Let's let the man do the work we elected him to do and stop listening to Chuckles the Clown Schumer and the likes of Hakeem Jeffries, because these idiots don't know much. They like to make you think they do, but they're career politicians with no work experience, no bargaining experience, and they're just politicians. And that's just one step below a used car salesman, in my estimation. So let's bring it up to and include also the hands-off demonstrators that were out there, yelling about everything from their Social Security being cut to their Medicaid being cut and Medicare being cut. There have been no cuts anywhere in these things. They're off base. They're being told to say these things by someone who is funding these marches, these get-togethers, that people are outside carrying signs that they can't even read in some cases, or can't explain to the man in the street that walks up to them and asks them a question, why are you here? Well, I'm here because my Social Security is going to be cut. No, it's not. First of all, so in some cases, the people that were asked this question aren't old enough to be collecting Social Security unless they pulled something to get disability insurance early so they don't have to work anymore, because they have the time to be recruited to go out to these programs that are being funded by somebody. I don't know if it's George Soros or someone like him that is putting the dollars behind this. It could be your own senators in some cases promoting this. I wouldn't put it past Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries to have found the funding to get these people in the street. They know not what they protest in most cases. They're not educated enough to understand the financial workings of the world, never mind their balancing their own checking account. In some cases, probably never have. Or, in other cases, never had a checking account because they get the government check every week and use that to go buy their groceries and various other things, if you catch my drift. So let's take a look at some of this protest that was out, the hands-off people. Take a look here.
Joining us, I'm Kathy Vara.
And I'm Jonathan Gonzalez. Those protests were against President Trump's economic policies, as well as cuts to the federal workforce and education. From Washington, D.C. to Chicago, even Boston, there were large crowds and more than 1,200 marches, people holding signs reading, "Hands off our democracy, hands off Social Security, and Congress, do your job." The White House assistant press secretary saying in an email today that President Trump will always protect Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid for eligible beneficiaries. Some of today's rallies took place right here in Southern California.
The largest in downtown L.A. NBC4's Amber Frias shows us why people here decided to march.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, Donald Trump has got to go.
Chanting and waving homemade signs, thousands poured into the streets of LA County as part of the nationwide hands-off movement.
I feel like it's important for people to stand up and show they have agency and that they have a voice in what is happening in this country.
Their message was simple: hands off.
So it's hands off our democracy, hands off women's health care, hands off. To be honest, there's too many things to list, so that's why it's just hands off.
Organizers say the protests were planned in more than 1,000 locations across the U.S., led by over 150 groups, including civil rights organizations, labor unions, LGBTQ+ advocates, and veterans.
People are showing up today, and we need people to show up over and over again because this doesn't end today.
From downtown L.A. to Hollywood and multiple cities across the U.S., demonstrators rallied against President Trump and Elon Musk's actions on government downsizing, economy, immigration, and human rights issues.
I'm worried about what's going to happen if we have another outbreak of a disease.
I just want there to be a voice for the American people in what's being done with our taxpayer dollars.
Protesters say this isn't just a moment. It's a movement, and they're not backing down.
We have children and we have grandchildren, and we are really concerned for the future that we are handing off to them. And we feel that we have to have, our voices have to be heard loud.
Amber Frias, NBC4 News.
These people should be out and out, completely embarrassed and ashamed of themselves and the people that hired them and paid them to be out there in some cases and provided them with the necessary signage to get the Democrats' message across to you using the propaganda machine of the Democratic Party, and that is lamestream media that you all tune into as well as I do to find out what they're saying so we know what to be afraid of, and their fear factor is how they win. The Democratic Party wants you afraid. I can't say this often enough. Calm down and let the medicine start to work, and then see the end result and say, oh, maybe I was lied to one more time. And if you think they're not capable of lying to you on the Democratic side and some of them on the right side, called rhinos, you have another thing coming, because you just lived through 4 years of being lied to every day of that administration about what they were capable of pulling off and what they hid from you, including the dementia problems of a president with his finger on the nuclear button. And Bernie Sanders and the like never said a word other than best Biden ever. They went right along with Jackass Joe and told you everything was the best he's ever been. Well, it's all out now in a book written by his own staff. So take that and then ask yourself, is what they're telling me now about the tariffs and about the stock market really true? Why would anyone want to use the stock market as a barometer for an everyday family that is going to work, making a paycheck, and having to pay higher prices because of tariffs? That's not going to be the case, folks. It's not going to be the case. Prices are coming down at the gas pump. That's a boon for the working man and woman in the United States today, as well as some of the grocery prices are starting to fall because we're finally starting to produce more in this country because the regulations on production of certain things like eggs and milk and beef are being taken off. This is what this administration was elected to do. They are doing it, and the left side is melting down over it and cannot believe that it's happening. So they have to convince you that you need to be afraid of other areas. So they always go to Social Security, they always go to Medicare, and they always go to Medicaid to make you panic because they know that in some cases you and I depend on these particular organizations to provide for us with the money that we paid in, our money. Not the senator's money, not the congressperson's money, our money that has now been found out has been given away willy-nilly. Even Kaiser understands this. So we know now where the money went as a result of what DOJ is uncovering. They're fighting tooth and nail against DOJ. They're fighting tooth and nail to make you believe that Elon Musk is the devil himself, which is nowhere near the truth because they are scared of losing their particular nest of eggs that they have placed in their own baskets. No pun intended. So the rallies continue, and they're driven by people who have something to gain. You have nothing to lose as a citizen of this United States. You have a White House right now that is working every day on our behalf, not the senator's behalf, not the crooked congressman's behalf, not the foreign people that want to find out what the sex change of a mouse is, and so on and so on. And pandemics that have been created as a result of our funding being sent into a foreign country to be fooling with viruses that we do not need another bout of that. The undocumented are now holding rallies. I guess it was out in L.A. where we had this woman come up that organized this whole rally and outed herself about being undocumented and queer. And, well, take a look here.
Please welcome Executive Director Gracia Martinez Rosas from United We Dream.
What up, my people? Buenas tardes a toda mi gente latina. ¿Dónde estamos?
I can't understand a word you said the whole time. We're American because you're in America, okay? Greatest country on the planet.
My name is Gracia Martinez Rosas. I am an immigrant. I am undocumented, unafraid, queer, and unashamed.
Bruh.
My name is Gracia Martinez Rosas. I am an immigrant.
I am undocumented, unafraid, queer, and unashamed.
Fucking me! Pick up, you bastards!
Damn, I love my job.
There is no doubt in my mind that we have a problem in this country with state by state not adhering to the laws that have been put forward about illegal entrance into this country, about criminals entering this country, and about people like this that will put together rallies funded by we don't know who. It certainly wasn't her. Just take a look at it, and you'll realize someone has funded that big rally for what it's worth. But I hope that ICE now has her name and number, and we'll round that up quickly, please, Mr. Holman. So, it's Thursday. Last Thursday. We told you a lot was going on the Senate floor, and Elizabeth Warren's come out over the weekend again with the same nonsense that she was spouting last Thursday, and now she wants to have everything happen over the weekend so Monday morning we can start with her new program, which is, we don't know. But who's with me here thinking that Elizabeth Warren needs to be retired and put into an institution somewhere, because she's obviously a crazy person? And take a look at this.
Right now, authority is right here in Congress. We don't have to just stand by and watch everything melt down because Donald Trump has engaged in this crazy round of tariffs. Instead, we can pass a resolution, reel it back in, take away this authority from him right now.
Really?
And get things back to normal. We can do that. We just need a handful of Republicans to join us, and we can get this done. And frankly, we should do this. We should do it before the markets open on Monday.
So if you agree with me, give me a comment below about where Elizabeth Warren needs to go, and what drives her, we don't know, but it can't be very good. She's a nutcase. And she's aided and abetted, again, by Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, and these people want you to fear everything. Schumer's fighting for his life as a leader in the Senate right now, and the big fear that he has is on his own party, AOC, going after him. Well, that's another whole story. There's stuff that come out over the weekend about her. I haven't vetted any of that yet, so I'm not going to tell you. But when I do get it vetted that it's a true story, I will be talking about it this week for sure. AOC, Jasmine Crockett, this is the new Democratic Party. So hold on if these people ever get in power, because we're all going to have to probably move to Canada, because these idiots shouldn't be in the positions that they are. And we know now why one got in that position, and we have to wonder about the bartender. So there we have that. So it's been a rainy yesterday and today here in East Tennessee. Our heart and prayers go out to the people throughout the Tennessee Valley and the Ohio Valley that are experiencing these floods one more time, and severe tornado warnings up and down those alleys right now. And God, please stay with these people, that they don't lose everything due to floods and tornadoes one more time. So pray for those people. Pray for our president. He's up against a hard wall of propaganda machines that are out there trying to negate every good thing that he has on his agenda for you and I to be experiencing a better and more profitable life as he does his job, and he's being thwarted by Obama appointees, fake judges that have been put all over the place expressly for this reason. The Democrats have placed these people in certain areas to throw roadblocks in the way of anything that doesn't fit their agenda. And understand this, that a local judge has no business telling the executive branch of this government how to react to different things and what they can and can't do. Who ever thought that we would have these Obama-appointed judges and Biden-appointed judges that are clearly politically driven? A judge should be a non-partisan person able to make a decision on either side depending on what the Constitution and what the law says is legal. Not what they want to make up, and they want to write laws now, and this is dead wrong. And I hope and pray that our Supreme Court justices put a stop to this abuse of power that was instituted under Obama and carried on through Biden, and now we have to get this fixed. We have a man that took the Oval Office with a massive amount of problems that needed to be fixed, and he's addressing them in 100 days, one by one, with the help of some people he's brought in from the outside. No names mentioned because I don't want to see any more cars burned. It's like the summer of love to these people, where they were out burning down police stations, and they had an excuse. All they need is one little excuse. Let's take George Floyd. Let's go to this one. Let's go to that one. And now it's a gangbanger that was taken by mistake out of Baltimore, but we know was due to be exported or deported anyway, and now they're making an issue of that. So don't get sucked into this. Let the Democrats stew in their own broth, because they're the ones that have brought the damage onto themselves, and they now have to make you afraid so they can get back into power. Recognize it, understand it, and remember it on Election Day, whether it's midterm elections or the 2028 elections that are a little bit ways off, but they're already campaigning for it. And if you think that the new Democratic Party, with people like Tim Walz and AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Hakeem Jeffries, and there's a list of others that I just don't want to go into, have a plan, they have no more of a plan than Kamala Harris had. All they can do is fight against what's happening good in this country and making you believe that what happens to benefit you is all bad, and they can fix it. They fixed it all right. They put us in the jeopardy we were in on Election Day of World War III, and sitting in judgment of January 6th as a big insurrection, but what they watched happen with buildings burning and things of that like didn't bother them. What does that tell you? So with that, it's Monday. I hope you're all having a great day. It's a back-to-work day, and I know that you're all busy, but thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back to you tomorrow. Kaiser and I will tell you, have a great, great rest of Monday. Stay safe. Stay strong against this stuff, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more information and opinions on what you should know. Bye-bye now.